The Pine Bluff City Council meeting of May the 20th, 2013 is hereby called to order. May we have roll call?
Alderman Brumman.
Here.
Alderman Eastwood.
Here.
Alderman Stell.
Here.
Alderman Walker.
Here.
Alderman Boyd.
Here.
Alderman Brown.
Here.
Alderman Mays.
Here.
Alderman Holt.
At this time, I would like to state that Alderman Holcomb called our office and he has a very bad sinus infection, so he regrets having to miss tonight. Each of you have a copy of the minutes from May the 6th, 2013. At this point, I will entertain a motion.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that the minutes of May the 6th, 2013 be approved as presented. All in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. At this time, we'll move on to the committee reports, starting with ordinances and resolutions. Alderman Brummett.
Yes, Mayor. The Ordinance Resolutions Committee met prior to the meeting, and items 1 and 2 are up for the third and final reading. Then items 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are up for the second reading. Items 9, 10, 11, and 12 will be up for the first reading, and the rest of the items are resolutions and they will be completed. I'd like to move that we read titles only for tonight because we have so many on the agenda.
Second.
Is there any way we could complete some of these for tonight?
Complete some of these? Well,
Could you repeat that? Could you repeat that again?
Because at the next council meeting.
the Ordinance Resolutions Committee met prior to the meeting, and that's what they asked me to report to the council. If somebody wants to move to suspend the rules, they have the right to do that at any point, to move something on forward.
We have a motion on the floor, though, with the 9 through...
That would read it titles only tonight.
Titles
We've got
only?
so many on the agenda. That's
Okay, and which numbers were they now?
all of them.
All of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It's been a motion and properly second that we read the titles only for the ordinances.
I make a motion that we read item 3 through 8, suspend the rule and read them for the second and third time.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. We're going to go ahead and complete that motion.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
That we read the titles only tonight. All in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries that we read the titles only tonight.
I have make a motion that we read 3 through 8. Suspend the rule and read third time, please.
Second.
Did we have a second?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't hear the second. Okay, it's been moved and properly second that we suspend the rules and read ordinance 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 tonight. Any discussion?
Since 3 is mine, we did a third reading on it.
Second reading.
Yeah.
That's what she said, the 3 through.
Mayor,
Ma'am?
as it relates to your motion, Ms. Walker, if we would ask each one individually so everybody can vote on which one, I guess when it comes up, which ones they want to suspend the rules on, and that way the council members can select which ones they want to suspend the rules on. And
Okay.
also, as it relates to number 5, there was an amendment made to number 5, and the resolutions are attached to that ordinance regarding the Parks and Recreation Commission, and those resolutions need to be added. They were not added.
I thought all Brawley was going to do that.
I'm just.
No, I was just messing with him.
These are, number 6 and 7, is it of necessity to closing the alleys? Those are the ones you talking about, Ms. Walker?
No, 3 through 8. 3 through 8.
Yes, ma'am, but I'm talking about 6, 7, and 8.
Yes, those two.
6 and 7 are the ones that.
I'm just saying, do we got a need for us to,
Yeah, you can just ask them.
I think we're,
tonight, I'm just saying.
I think it's more or less that we agree to close them, I think.
We have a motion on the floor that 3 through 8 be read at one time. I think what we need to do is maybe pull that motion and let's do them individually
As they come up,
as they come up.
you can make a motion to suspend the rules if you want.
Yeah.
I make a motion that I rescind my motion.
Okay. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, where are we?
We on
Ways and Means.
Ways and Means.
Okay, Ways and Means, Alderman Brummett.
Yes, ma'am. The Ways and Means Committee met prior to the meeting. We have 3 budget adjustments that are in your packet. The first one is concerning a retirement of an employee with 90 days accumulated sick leave and 30 days vacation leave. The total is $28,557.83, and I move we accept this budget adjustment based on confirmation by the Finance Department and HR.
It's been moved. Do we have a second? On this budget adjustment, do we have a second on it? Okay. It's been properly moved and second that the budget adjustment regarding the 90 days accumulated sick leave and 30 days vacation leave to be funded from the position open in the amount of $28,557.83. The floor is now open for discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, the second one we have is for the department savings adjustments. We all met in committee, and departments made suggestions to meet the mayor's request for a 2.5% reduction in expenses. The total amount is $573,875.63. I move we accept this budget adjustments.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that the budget adjustments for 2013 be voted on. The floor is open for discussion. It's in the amount of $573,875.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next one we have, Mayor, is the carryover grant budgets for 2012 to 2013 to adjust the community development block grant and home grant budgets to fund actually available from HUD. We have to do this every year in that there's monies that are finally come in from HUD, and then the budgets have to be adjusted to represent the actual amounts that we receive. You all have a copy of it. If there's any questions, Mr. Matthews, I'm sure can answer them. I move we accept this budget adjustment from the Community Development Department.
Second. Okay, it's been properly moved and second that we entertain the motion of the carryover budgets from 2012 to 2013. The floor is open for discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Move we pay the bills that the city owes.
Okay, it's been, the motion has been properly second to pay the bills that the city owes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye, please. Any opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Economic and Community Development, Alderwoman Walker.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Health and Welfare, Alderman Holcomb is out. Public Works, Alderman Mays.
Man, we didn't have a meeting. I just want to continue to encourage our citizens to work together in our wards to help all of us reduce crime at the same time. We all can work together in doing it. I think that'd be a good thing to kind of get involved in neighborhood watch programs and let's work together.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Development and Planning, Alderman Boyd.
Yes, ma'am, we met on the 14th concerning items 1, 6, 7, and 8, and 13 and 14 that we'll be dealing with tonight, and we voted for a due pass on 1, 6, 7, and 8, and 14. That's on the list for tonight.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That's it, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Traffic and Aviation, Alderman Brown.
No report.
Thank you, sir. Administration, Alderman Steps.
Yes, Mayor, we met, and we dealt with the, number 3, addressing the ordinance, addressing the residence requirement. Myself, Alderman Eastwood, and Alderman Holcomb was the committee members, and it came out of the committee with a 2-to-1 due pass. Alderman Easterly and also Alderman Holcomb supported it, and I did not. So it came out of the committee with 2-to-1 due pass.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That's it.
Okay. Public Safety, Alderman Easterly.
Don't have a report, Mayor, but we'll have a regular meeting at 4 o'clock for the first council meeting next month. There'll be a couple of ordinances we'll be taking up, one on the animal shelter and one on the National Guard Armory, and anything else that comes up between now and then, we'll be dealing with that in that meeting, along with our normal business of reports and everything from everything.
Okay.
That concludes my report, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Moving on to ordinances, resolutions.
Mayor, we have an ordinance amending 16-1 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to provide a penalty for failure to abate a public nuisance and for related purposes, up for the third and final reading.
An ordinance amending 16-1 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to provide a penalty for failure to abate a public nuisance and for related purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that the ordinance amending 16-1 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to provide a penalty for failure to abate a public nuisance and for related purposes. The floor is now open for any discussion.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
At the time when it first was read, it was supposed to come back to a committee. I thought for some adjustment. Did we ever do that?
We met Tuesday.
Were there an adjustment made?
No.
Okay, any other discussion?
Not from the committee.
Okay.
Personally, this ordinance is not community friendly to me as far as the fines. I think it should be 2 ordinances, one for the property owners, the citizens, and one for the business owners. I think these fines are too steep. It's not community friendly for poor citizens, but it should be tailored toward downtown, all those businesses that are torn down, that have been there for 100 years, that need to be torn down. This should relate to them, and another one should be written, I believe, for the citizens in the neighborhoods.
Ms. Hill or Mr. Tucker can address that. We addressed it in the meeting if they, I don't know.
Yes, if you'd like to, Mr. Tucker.
No such thing. I'll let you know that.
The way it's written, it's set up to treat all properties the same, and it will be enforced by the judge, by us. So, I think the way it's written, it's probably, it's fine.
I concur. I think it's very equal and fair to all people. And it's a case by case, so it's not across the board, and like you said, the final decision is with the judge. But we've got to have some teeth to this law. That's the reason why we have so many abandoned properties that are up for demolition that the property owner could pay to have it done. So we need to have some teeth to it to get some of the structures down.
We're talking about locking somebody for 30 days for not tearing down a house, incarceration plus $1,000 fine. You got a poor lady out there that can't do that. You gonna lock her up? I mean, versus
The judge is not going to do that. It's up to his discretion. He's going to take it on a case basis.
I still don't think, personally, I don't think it's community friendly. Just my opinion. I said that in the committee, and I was one of the ones that asked for more discussion as far as the council go on.
I share those concerns. Well, and here's what concerns me, and because a lot of these properties that we have now, the citizens are calling their aldermen saying, what can we do? We don't have the money to tear them down. We know they need to be torn down. Is there any assistance that we can get to do this? And we keep telling them no. And then when we tell them no, and they're saying, well, what are we going to do? And now we come back with this. This even put a harder burden on them, even though we say that the judge will make that decision. But can you only imagine some of the elderly people, when you start going before a judge, fear has already set in. And I know something needs to be done. I know we got a bunch of abandoned buildings, but when I look at what has happened in the last 8 years, there's very few of these structures downtown that we have moved, and I'm trying to figure out what has been the problem with that. But it is a problem out here with these taxpayers, and they're constantly calling us, and we don't have no answers for them, because we hear them all. And I understand what you're doing. I understand what Alderman Boyd is trying to do based on the information that you all have provided to him. But it is a problem out here trying to do what we need to do.
It's not our intention to take it grandmothers and grandfathers, the people that don't have these certificates.
But we don't know who they are though, Mr. Tucker, until you get this notice out there to them. It'd be a different story if we knew who we were sending these tickets out there to. But it is a major, major problem. And I know that the mayor's office get a lot of calls and concerning these properties, and I get a lot of calls. And, and I'm trying to tell them who to contact and what office to go through. They're saying, but I need your help. And I understand they cry. And, it makes it difficult for us out here.
I know some groups that are willing to help tear down some houses. I mean, like Alderman Stepp said, everybody, when they call, they ask, do we have any assistance? I mean, to pay taxes all your life and then tell somebody no, that you don't have an assistance program to help them or something, that's not right. I think we should be more community friendly in order to help our citizens more. Some people have been paying taxes for 80 and 90 years. And if you call them to get a tree cut down, they'll get a lot of red tape, a tree in the yard. And I don't think that's fair as far as our tax dollars being spent in the city of Pine Bluff.
I think, excuse me, man, I think one of the big issues that we were trying to cover here, not so much the individual people with home, but these people that buying these delinquent tax places and buying them 7, 8, 10 houses at a time, and then choose the best one or two, and then linger on for so long, then let the others go back to the city, where the city is losing money with having to deal with it. I think those are some of the loopholes that they're trying to cover up with this. It'll still be the same inspectors out there to know who the house belongs to, but these people that buying 7 or 8 is the one they trying to, if I may use the word, target and prevent them from, instead of buying all these houses and leaving them vacant for a year and 2 years at a time.
And also, it has to do with some apartment complexes that we've been dealing with, and the owner lives in California. And this apartment complex is atrocious and has been this way for at least 2 years. I walked in it myself. I could not believe it. And those are the people in which you want to target to say, you either do something about it or we'll enforce this law. to clean it up, because it has not, there's been no tenants in this apartment complex for 2 years.
Let me ask you a question then. Go ahead.
Alderman Boyd, maybe we could change the ordinance and come back and specify, you know, that it's not people that have rental property, property for rental or sale, and that we could do, maybe could do that way. What do you think?
Let me see what Ms. Ruth is going to say here.
Yes, there's a major problem with all these houses, but we are looking at owners that have multiple homes that have been condemned and refuse to do anything with them. And people that can do something with the house, even though it will be left up to the judge. There are other avenues that we're looking at to help people. Some that may qualify for houses that get torn down and no cost to them. We're looking into that. Also working with the ministers who have volunteered their labor to tear some houses down, or some of the people that are willing to tear the homes down but just don't have the funds. That was reduced, won't be free right now. We're still trying to work out something with place to dump the material, but it will be a very, very reduced cost on that part. Also, Arkansas Department of Correction has agreed to tear some homes down. I don't know how many they will get down, but they have agreed to also help. That will be free labor, but we still have a dumping cost right now.
And I get,
We are willing to listen and bend or do anything to get some of this stuff.
and I understand it, and I can appreciate that. But one of the things that I guess that would concern us is to whether or not, even if we went out and targeted those people, would then will it come back and they say, well, you discriminating against me because of this and that. Because I think that something should be done, because I know what Reverend Boyd is saying. There's some property owners here that has gone out and bought multiple properties and they hadn't done anything with them.
I think the judge will look at the situation and determine if there's a need because of the neglect, willful neglect of them just not taking care of their homes, because they just don't want to spend the money to do it, but they still have other little properties that they're collecting. We still do that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Root, I'm more concerned about those that can afford the $3,000, the $2,000, the $4,000 to tear the house down. As Reverend Boyd, Alderman Boyd mentioned, there are people that buy multiple houses or large realtors companies that own them that won't tear them down. My main concern is why doesn't this ordinance say you want to target or you want to direct it to those? Just a second. And you also said something about ministers tearing down houses. They're not going to do it. It's liability, so I can tell you that's not going to happen. I don't know about the prisons. That may be a liability. They have their own liability, but I'm concerned about the elderly people that left the houses because they either died or was moved to nursing homes, and a nephew or a niece or somebody moved in the house for a while until something bad happened, and they moved out and left the house. That house is still in ownership of that person that's either deceased or in the nursing home, and they don't have $3,000 or $4,000 or whatever it takes to tear those houses down. And then you also come in contact with air property, whereas some of the heirs are not living here, and you have problems trying to get the heirs together, and so it becomes a family nuisance.
Mayor, can I say one other thing? She mentioned the Department of Correction people. I don't think they have a problem with tearing them down, and I think some ministers and things will probably come in and tear down. But the biggest problem that she had said is that finding somewhere to dispose of those houses they're torn down, because that's expensive.
Okay, we've got, yes, sir.
Ms. Ruth, this is like the last straw, right? I mean, you're not gonna just take somebody to court. This is like you've tried everything in the book to try to resolve the problem. And y'all have discussed this in committees, and this is not just something brand new that popped up. It's something that's been talked about for a good long while. You're not targeting anybody, actually, at all.
Ms. Ruth, from what about if 1 through 4, which is the penalty for it, if that was amended to remove that, it would still give you, because since the judge makes the call anyway, would that work? Because it's just removing the fine portion. Mr. Tucker says it's up to you. Do you decide?
I think the, fine was, like, no one wants to get a ticket. Because if you get a ticket, you know that's money that you're gonna have to pay. Now, when you get to court, the judge may say, okay, do some community service and give you 64 days to take care of.
Somebody 65 years old gonna do some community service?
I'm giving an example of the idea of the fine.
Well, since the judge, the reason I'm saying that, since the judge is gonna set the fine anyway, that way it just doesn't look so heavy-handed, because it would be up to the judge, as to he would do it on a case-by-case basis.
He said it would be done on a case-by-case basis.
Uh-huh.
He really said that.
Okay, do we have any more questions? Because this has already been to committee, and the committee recommends it be passed. So do we need to go ahead and vote on this, pull it, or what do we need to do here?
Well, one of the things I would like for us, if we're gonna deal with this penalty phase of it, if you would make one statement that the penalty could be up to $1,000, then the judge can make the calls as to what he says, rather than these increments of $250 and $500 and $1,000 and stuff like that.
So are we recommending that this go back to committee?
Would that
Can
work?
make an amendment.
Would that work, Ms. Ruth, if we had it a maximum of up to $1,000 and then it'd be up to the judge? And just eliminate 1 through 4?
That's
Okay.
line 4 through 10, you say?
But I tell you what's gonna happen. What's gonna
Just,
happen is
just,
they're gonna-
just one moment, just a moment. Okay. Are we going to do that then, say that we're going to amend it, or, and the fine's up to $1,000?
If it'll work for the inspection, I'm fine with it. If it'll work for Ms. Ruth, I mean, what they're trying to accomplish.
Okay, why don't we put that out there and let's move on, okay?
Just let me say this, what's gonna happen is that they're gonna find these houses, and they're gonna send these notices to these owners, and it's gonna be 500 people in court for this, and they're not gonna care, because they're gonna say that we're doing our job. And you're gonna have so many people in court for reasons they can't afford to tear down a house, and I'm telling you, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have a bomb of stuff here with people that, because once this thing is passed, they're gonna just go and find houses and send them out. I'm telling you what's gonna happen.
Okay, do you want to amend your motion?
Okay. What you finna say?
Reverend Boyd, make the motion to amend it.
Is that gonna work for y'all, Ms. Ruth?
Yes.
Okay, I amend that, I move that we amend this ordinance from line 4 through 8, I think if I'm looking at it correctly, to read up to $1,000.
Amend 4
Remove
through
all of it.
8?
No minimums.
No.
Right.
Remove all the other figures and just put in up to $1,000. And that'll be left at the judge's discretion.
Okay. Okay, we've got amendment on this to remove, there will be no minimum, and the fine can be up to $1,000 or up to the judge's discretion. Is that stated right? Okay. The floor is open for discussion on the amendment.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
if I understand correctly, then what you will do is you are amending line 3 to state that the nuisance shall be a fine, the penalty for conviction or failing to abate the public nuisance shall be a fine up to $1,000, period. You're striking out lines 4 through 13.
Yes, that's correct.
4 through 13?
Yes, because all the other penalty provisions will be excised.
So we're saying no incarceration and all that.
It's incarceration.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor of the amendment? Say aye, please. Any opposed? Hearing none. The amended form carries. And now we're going to vote on the original as amended. Any discussion on the original as amended? Who seconded that one? The first one?
The first one.
We didn't?
The original I did.
Here, and Alderman Boyd seconded.
Okay.
But we've amended it, we've got to change it. I move to approve the ordinance as amended.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and properly second that the ordinance be amended. Any discussion?
Can we make sure that, if we would, can we get that before the next council meeting, once it's amended, we can look at it?
No, we're finna vote on it now.
Well, I'm just saying, though, we're going to amend it, but I want to make sure the amendment is in there.
We're voting, this is the third reading.
Do that.
It's in there.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, any opposed? Okay. Motion 6-1.
Okay. Mayor, we have an ordinance amending Section 2-293 and 2-181 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas regarding the meetings, officers, and length of terms of the Pine Bluff Commission on Youth, up for the third reading.
An ordinance amending sections 2-293 and 2-181 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas regarding the meetings, officers, and length of terms of the Pine Bluff Commission on Children and Youth.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second that the ordinance amending sections 2-293 and 2-181 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas regarding the meetings, officers, and length of terms of the City of Pine Bluff Commission on Children and Youth is now up for discussion.
Well, this is my ordinance. It gives our youth a council setting where they can, they can work together with the youth, and we can kind of get an idea on what they want from a positive objective inside our city. And it says, line 16 through 18 says, whereas it expressly stated, Section 2-294, that the commission shall be the primary city agency for studying, planning, and development, coordination, and evaluation of city programs intended to advance the interests of our youth. So basically, it's just trying to get our youth involved in our city government and what they need. And I feel like we need to listen to our youth a lot more in order to move the city forward with things, for them.
Okay, any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Roll call. Roll call.
Alderman Browning?
Aye.
Alderman Easterly?
Aye.
Alderman Stamps?
No.
Alderman Walker?
No.
Alderman Boyd?
No.
Alderman Brown? No. Alderman Mays?
Aye.
Okay, motion fails.
There we have an ordinance addressing residency requirements for department heads and city employees, repealing ordinance number 5863 and 6021 regarding residency requirements for department heads and uniformed police officers, repealing resolutions numbers 1570 and 1582 concerning residency of city employees, establishing a new residency rule for department heads and for related purposes, up for the second reading.
An ordinance addressing residency requirements for department heads and city employees, repealing ordinances number 5863 and 6021 regarding residency requirements for department heads and uniformed police officers, repealing resolutions number 1570 and 1582 concerning residency of city employees, establishing a new residency rule for department heads and related purposes.
I make a motion to suspend the rule for the third and final reading.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second that we suspend the rules on ordinance, residency ordinance, requirements for department heads and city employees, repealing ordinances number 5863 and 6021 regarding residency requirements for department heads and uniformed police officers, repealing resolutions number 1570 and 1582 concerning residency of city employees, establishing a new residency rule for department heads and for related purposes. Any discussion? It will take 6 votes, correct? Okay, hearing no discussion, roll call, please.
Alderman Bryant?
No.
Alderman Easterly? No. Alderman Steph?
Yes.
Alderman Walker?
Yes.
Alderman Boyd?
Suspend the rules and read it 3 times.
Oh,
The
okay.
last time.
Yes.
Alderman Brown?
Yes.
Alderman May?
No.
Okay, it didn't because we need 6 votes. Motion fails.
It'll be placed on the calendar for the next council meeting.
You take 6 votes or 5.
Takes 6 to suspend the rules. So it'll have to be read the third time at the next meeting. It wasn't read the third time tonight.
Is that 6 or the majority present?
Ma'am?
Is that 6 or the majority present?
Majority of the
It's
council.
2/3, it's 6.
Of the council. Of the full council. Of the entire council.
It takes 6 votes, yes, ma'am. Okay, we have an ordinance defining fixed assets of the municipality, directing that city agencies and departments create and maintain a list of fixed assets and for related purposes, up for the second reading.
An ordinance defining fixed assets of the municipality, directing that all city agencies and departments create and maintain a list of fixed assets and for related purposes.
I make a motion to suspend the rule, wait on the third and final reading.
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made and properly second that we suspend the rules on ordinance defining fixed assets of the municipality, directing that all city agencies and departments create and maintain a list of fixed assets for related purposes. All in favor? We don't vote yet. No. Roll call.
Discussion?
Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Bryant?
Aye.
Alderman Easterly? Alderman Steph?
Aye.
Alderman Walker?
Aye.
Alderman Boyd?
Aye.
Alderman Brown? Alderman May?
Aye.
An ordinance defining fixed assets of the municipality, directing that all city agencies and departments create and maintain a list of fixed assets and for related purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the ordinance for fixed assets for the municipality, directing that all city agencies and departments create and maintain a list of fixed assets and for related purposes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, we have an ordinance appointing the members of the expanded Parks and Recreation Commission, amending ordinance number 6433 to adjust the terms of initial appointments to the commission and permitting the reappointment of a commissioner to a full term after completion of the term of the initial appointment, up for the second reading.
An ordinance appointing the members of the expanded Parks and Recreation Commission, amending ordinance number 6433 to adjust the terms of the initial appointments to the commission and permitting the reappointment of a commissioner to a full term after completion of the term of the initial appointment.
I make a motion to suspend the rule for third and final reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that we suspend the rules regarding ordinance appointing the members of the expanded Parks and Recreation Commission, amending ordinance number 6433 to adjust the terms of initial appointments to the commission and permitting the reappointment of a commissioner to a full term after completion of the term of the initial appointment. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Alderman Brumman.
Aye.
Alderman Easterly. Alderman Steph.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Aye.
Alderman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Brown. Alderman Mayor.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Six.
An
Okay, go
ordinance
ahead.
appointing the members of the Expanded Parks and Recreation Commission, amending ordinance number 6433 to adjust the terms of the initial appointments to the commission and permitting the reappointment of a commissioner to a full term after completion of the term of the initial appointment.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that the ordinance appointing the members of the Expanded Parks and Recreation Commission, amending ordinance number 6433 to adjust the terms of initial appointments to the commission and permitting the reappointment of a commissioner to a full term after completion of the term of the initial appointment. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, we have an ordinance to close a portion of an alley located north of West 4th Avenue between Larch and Juniper Streets in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Up for the second reading.
An ordinance to close a portion of an alley located north of West 4th Avenue between Larch and Juniper Streets in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Make a motion to suspend the rule for third and final reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that the rules be suspended on ordinance to close a portion of an alley located north of West 4th Avenue between Larch and Juniper Streets in the city of Pine Bluff. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brumman.
Aye.
Alderman Easterly.
Aye.
Alderman Steph.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Aye.
Alderman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Brown. Alderman Mayor.
An ordinance to close a portion of an alley located north of West 4th Avenue between Larch and Juniper Streets in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that the ordinance to close a portion of an alley located north of West 4th Avenue between Larch and Juniper Streets in the city of Pine Bluff is up for discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, we have an ordinance providing for the rezoning of certain territory in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, 2.5 acres on Texas Street, up for the second reading.
An ordinance providing for the rezoning of certain territory in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, 2.5 acres on Texas Street.
I move that we suspend the rules and read it for the third and final time.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that the rules be suspended on ordinance providing for the rezoning of certain territory in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, 2.5 acres on Texas Street. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brumman.
Aye.
Alderman Easterly.
Aye.
Alderman Steph.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Aye.
Alderman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Brown. Alderman Mayor.
Motion carries.
An ordinance providing for the rezoning of certain territory in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, 2.5 acres on Texas Street.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that the ordinance providing for the rezoning of certain territory in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, 2.5 acres on Texas Street is now up for discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Third and final reading on it. Okay.
We have an
That's number 7, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, we're on number 8.
I move to suspend the rule for the third and final reading.
We already did on
Well,
7.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
George beat you to the punch.
Okay.
We have an ordinance to close West 15th Avenue between Taft and Redbud Streets in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, up for the second reading.
An ordinance to close West 15th Avenue between Taft and Redbud Streets in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Somebody gonna do
Suspend the rules. Place on third and final reading.
it?
Has it been suspended?
No, it moved in second to
Oh, it has been, oh, I'm sorry. Did we get a second on it?
Made.
Okay, didn't hear you, sorry. Who made the motion?
I made the motion.
Oh, you made the motion?
Who seconded?
I second.
Thank you.
You made the motion, I second. He made the motion and seconded.
We couldn't hear. Okay, thank you. Okay, it's been properly moved and second that an ordinance to, no, it's been properly moved and second that we suspend the rules regarding ordinance to close West 15th Avenue between Taft and Redbud Streets in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Up for discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Alderman Brumman.
Aye.
Alderman Easterly. Alderman Steph.
Aye.
Alderman Walker. Alderman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Brown. Alderman May.
Okay, motion passed.
An ordinance to close West 15th Avenue between Taft and Redbud Streets in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that the ordinance to close West 15th Avenue between Taft and Redbud Streets in the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas is now up for discussion. Hearing none. All in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, we have an ordinance regarding the city's procedure for advertising for bids and requests for proposals up for the first reading.
An ordinance regarding the city's procedures for advertising for bids and requests for proposals.
What committee should this go? Has this been to committee, Ms. Walker?
No, it has not. It would go to, probably Ways and Means, wouldn't it? Because it's concerning.
Okay, it'll go to Ways and Means and then come back to the council at the next meeting. We have an ordinance prohibiting a person in public view from wearing pants or skirts below the waistline that exposes undergarments or skin on certain public property, amending Article 3 of Chapter 14 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas to add new Section 14-80 and for related purposes, up for the first reading.
An ordinance prohibiting a person in public view from wearing pants, shirts, or skirt below the waistline that exposes undergarments or skin on certain public property, amending Article 3 of Chapter 14 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and to add new Section 14-80 and for related purposes.
This ordinance will be forwarded to the Public Health and Welfare Committee for consideration and then brought back to the council for the next meeting, the second reading. We have an ordinance directing that former Army Reserve National Guard Armory serve as a new site of the Pine Bluff Police Department, up for the first reading.
An ordinance directing that the former Army Reserve National Guard Armory serve as the new site of the Pine Bluff Police Department.
We'll send this one to the Public Safety Committee and bring it back for the next meeting. We have an ordinance creating a privilege fee for non-resident employees as condition of employment in the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, prescribing the amount of the fees and its uses, and for other purposes, up for the first reading.
An ordinance creating a privilege fee for non-resident employees as a condition of employment with the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, prescribing the amount of the fee and its uses, and for other purposes.
That ordinance will go to the Administration Committee and then be brought back for consideration at the next council meeting. Okay? We have a resolution declaring certain houses, buildings, and/or structure as nuisances and ordering their abatement.
A resolution declaring certain houses, buildings, and/or structures as nuisances and ordering their abatement.
Move for adoption.
Second. I
Okay.
also have a amendment here. We have a couple of pieces of property that we need to move from the list. I mean, that we remove this. I think everyone have a copy.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that the resolution declaring certain houses, buildings, and/or structure as nuisance and ordering them for their abatement, excluding, do we need to read out these names as far as the exclusion goes? Or do y'all have a copy of that?
We have a copy.
Okay, everyone has a copy and acknowledges so. Floor is open for discussion.
Mayor, I'm gonna Is Ms. Boland going to speak after the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because all of are in here together, I'm gonna go ahead and support this, but I want you all to hear Ms. Boland and see what she got to say about an incident that she had about a house.
Okay. All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passed.
Move for the original as amended.
Second.
Thank you. It's been second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Mayor, we have a resolution amending resolution number 3542 to delete a property declared to be a public nuisance.
A resolution amending resolution number 3542 to delete a property declared to be a nuisance.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second, a resolution amending resolution number 3542 to delete a property declared to be a public nuisance. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, we have a resolution authorizing the city to negotiate for the acquisition of real property in the 400 block of East 12th Avenue.
A resolution authorizing the city to negotiate for the acquisition of real property in the 400 block of East 12th Avenue.
Move for adoption.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second, a resolution authorizing the city to negotiate for the acquisition of real property in the 400 block of East 12th Avenue. Any discussion?
Mayor, this property is adjourning property that we already own, and it's three pieces, and they have sort of indicated that they would sell it to the city at a reasonable price.
Will the actual contract or the price and so on have to come back to the council for approval?
I would think this is a bid, isn't it? Just to find out what the cost is?
Well, you should come back to the council with it.
For the exact amount, dollar amount, and so on for our approval, I would think.
I think Mr. Matthews, is he here? I think he's very familiar with, and of course, we have a personal property assessment of the value, and I think that Mr. Matthews could probably make a determination if that was a fair price, and that way we'd have it done.
What was the price?
What the council had mandated last year, that we come to the council before we enter into any negotiations to acquire any property. That's what we're asking now, is for permission to go ahead on and do assessment with regards to the value of the property, give the property owners, come to some type of agreement based on the value of the property and bring back to the council that amount.
Well, that's what
That's all I wanted was to make sure to come back to that. Where will the
Just a
money
fact
come-
finding.
Where will the money come from, Mr. Matthews? Is it out of community development funds or?
Well, this particular piece of property was brought to the attention of former Mayor Reeves with regards to the multi-purpose center project that we had designated the site, property that we own, and it's connected to it. And that's how these particular piece of property came.
Is this property over near where we're,
It's just east of the Salvation Army, it's a full
Okay.
block between Texas and Georgia that has been vacant for years.
well, that makes sense.
We had that discussion.
I'm sure we did. I just slept since then.
So it's a prime piece of property.
Okay.
All three of the property owners has shown a willingness to negotiate with the city.
Okay, any other discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Mayor, we have a resolution commending Vivian Flowers for service to the community as a member of the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission.
A resolution commending Vivian Flowers for service to the community as a member of the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second, a resolution commending Vivian Flowers for service to the community as a member of the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Mayor, we have a resolution reappointing Dave Sadler to the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission.
A resolution reappointing Dave Sadler to the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. A resolution reappointing Dave Sadler to the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Mayor, we have a resolution reappointing Marlene Davis Lilly to the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission.
A resolution reappointing Marlene Davis Lilly to the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. A resolution reappointing Marlene Davis Lilly to the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Mayor, we have a resolution appointing Harold D. Terry to the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission.
A resolution appointing Harold D. Terry to the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. A resolution appointing Harold D. Terry to the Pine Bluff Historic District Commission. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Mayor, we have a resolution authorizing the mayor to contract with Reed Architectural Firm Limited for professional services regarding the remodel, repair, or replacement of the animal shelter and for related purposes.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to contract with Reed Architectural Firm for professional services regarding the remodel, repair, or replacement of the animal shelter and related purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. A resolution authorizing the mayor to contract with Reed Architectural Firm for professional services regarding the remodel, repair, or replacement of the animal shelter and related purposes. Any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Exactly what will Mr. Reed be doing?
He will come back to us with a plan or a draft with some cost associated to it.
To the building repair, is that would it be a complete job? Would it be on the complete job?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Would it be on the complete job?
Yes,
that he would come
yes,
back with?
yes,
That would be
with a
the
number.
building- The building and everything?
Yes, ma'am, with a number. We're just authorize him to do that.
Okay, so he would draw out a plan for it of what it would be like.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have one other question. Has it definitely been determined that the animal control is not in the city park?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
We've carved it out.
so we have that in writing
Yes, ma'am.
before we build?
I have a question, Mayor. Just say, for instance, okay, it's remodel, repair, or build a new one, so we have a choice. So I'm all for if we can, save our taxpayer payers at least $500,000 on this thing. I mean, I know you all say we gotta spend it all. We gotta spend it all, but I feel like if we spend $1 million on an animal control shelter, I think we should have a top-notch adoption program and a place in there to train, the animals.
And that's in the plan. You're exactly right. We're partnering up with the Jefferson County Humane Society, and they have done a phenomenal job. If you'll go to their website and Facebook page as to the number of adoptions that they put out, they've done a tremendous job with that.
But if we can save $500,000 as far as just addition, would that be a good cost saving for our citizens?
We have to spend, that is something that they voted on. So we spend it capital improvements on the building and/or equipment.
That's what I've been hearing, that we have to spend $1 million. Am I right, Alderman Steps?
That's correct.
Okay. There's no way we can save any money by addition and...
No, sir.
We'll just make it better.
So
It'll be a state-of-the-art, that's for
it's
sure.
it's on the building and equipment, like, what is it, like trucks and different things like that that's needed?
I would say I don't know the specifications as to anything you would capitalize out, I guess. Steve?
The way the ballot question was written,
including animal control trucks, any kind of equipment that they have out there that might need.
And at present, they're driving trucks with no emergency lights, so if they have to stop in the middle of the road to pick up an animal, there's no emergency lights on their trucks. So that's hazardous. Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Mayor, we have a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to utilize Baird, Kurtz, and Dobson accounting firm to audit the financial records and transactions of city government for the calendar years 2010 to 2013, and transactions in earlier years if needed.
A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to utilize BK&D accounting firm to audit the financial records and transaction of city government for the calendar years 2010 through 2013, and transactions in earlier years if needed.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to utilize BK&D accounting firm to audit the financial records and transactions of city government for the calendar years 2010 through 2013, and transactions in earlier years if needed. Floor is now open for discussion.
I just have one question. When was the last time that they did the audit for the city? BKD?
What I heard was at least 10 years.
Been that long?
Yes, sir. Now, somebody might be, that's what I understand.
No, it's been that long, because I've gotten copies of audits that they had completed since I've been on the council.
Those are compliance audits from BK&D. They're not financial audits. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have a question, Mayor. We're already paying them to do work for the city, right?
No, well, only compliance. The only financial audit that we get is through the legislative audit.
Right. But this right here, this is, it says for any additional fee will be negotiated on page 2, line 7 and 8.
Alderman Brummett, did we get an amount from them for what they were going to charge?
Well, I think we'd have to come back with that to get approval on the actual fee. I think what we're doing is authorizing the mayor to meet with them, see what all the scope of work, and determine all that, and she's
Develop the scope.
come back to us.
Well, that,
Well, they're already doing work for us, so the city attorney said they could use them.
so that would be.
Any other discussion?
That would be an additional fee plus the payment already as for the additional work. I mean, that's what the state is saying.
We're talking about two different audits. The one that they do is a compliance audit. That is a fee within itself. That's an audit within itself. This is a financial audit. So there would be a fee for that one as well.
Additional.
Yes, sir. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Mayor, back on number 5, as requested by some of the aldermen previously. If you'll look at it in the packet, I didn't realize they were there till just now when the city attorney advised me that there are resolutions for each individual appointee in our packet. So at this time, I'm going to go through those one at a time. We have a resolution appointing Cammy Mays Hunt to the Pine Bluff Parks and Recreation Commission.
You want me to do them all at the same time, Mr. Brummett?
Yeah.
Can I do them all at once?
Yeah, you
I'll
go
just
ahead.
call them. A
Is that okay with
resolution,
everybody? She just do them all at one time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd just like to commend that you did change the names to positions. I want to say that. You can use it, you can vote on the whole thing if you like. To expedite time tonight.
Thank you, Alderman Brown.
a resolution appointing Cammy Mays Hunt, Crandon Henry, Roy Tolson, Jeffrey Pulliam, Fabian
Fontenot.
Duke Fakiri, Jonathan Frazier, Christopher Blunt, Carson Fields to the Parks and Recreation Commission.
Okay, do we we need a vote on that? We've already voted on it. You're just adding it to the minutes, their names to the minutes.
I move we approve those lists by
Second.
those resolutions.
Okay, a motion has been made and second that the positions and the commissioners as read be voted on. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, I want to commend the council tonight. We went through a very lengthy agenda, and it's not even 7 o'clock. I just want to commend y'all for the effort. That concludes our agenda.